Well, you know that a lot of the problems we have between communities, the communal clashes and the violence, burning of houses, fatalities and so on, have been caused as a result of the lack of delineation of boundaries between communities, between states and so on. And this is the responsibility of the Boundary Commission. And so what the bill seeks to do is to ensure that the Boundary Commission is, because the Boundary Commission, a lot of times they go, when they delineate boundaries or when occurrences like that happen, they go after the fact. And then you say, oh, Boundary Commission, come and tell us exactly where our boundary is. But what we want is to have a proactive Boundary Commission that ensures that these boundaries are properly delineated. Everybody knows where their boundary ends and so on, and so as to forestall a lot of these communal clashes. And we think that that is the way to go. I think that's the way to go. No, we're amending the existing act that sets up the Boundary Commission to make them more proactive. That's the intent. Well, look, right now we're in the middle of a problem, and so we have to solve the problem now. If we say we're going to wait till another government, whether the new government is in APC or in PDP, a lot of lives could be lost. So I think that it is a problem that is on the table right now. The herder-farmer clashes and all that is live. It's happening now. And so we have to resolve it now. And for a lot of us, we know that people who are more versed in these things than I am have proffered all sorts of solutions, chief amongst which is the issue of ranching, and that ranching is the way forward. And if the experts are saying that ranching is the way forward, as in other countries, as has been done in other countries, then we just need to learn to trust our experts instead of making all sorts of excuses. If the experts are saying ranching is the way forward, then ranching should be the way forward, and we should believe in our experts because these are the things that they have specialization in. Well, look, the DMO will tell you, the debt management, debt management organization or office, exactly. The debt management office will tell you that Nigeria has not reached its threshold for borrowing, and that by international best practices, we are still well within our limits for borrowing. That's on the legal side. But on the economic side, I think that the problem that we have is that people cannot point hands to what we have done with funds that we have borrowed. I know that if you look at the budget and so on, a lot must have been done with those funds. But I think that there must be a periodic report from the executive saying, look, this is what we're doing with the money we are borrowing. And the fear is that you're borrowing to pay salaries or you're borrowing to service debt. That may not be the case. But the executive has to make a clear case as to how they are applying these funds that they are borrowing. Left to me, I would have said they should ring-fence the funds that they borrow and dedicate them solely to infrastructure projects. That would have been, for me, the way forward. Borrow 4 billion or 4 trillion or whatever it is you want to borrow. Carry it and put somewhere. Ring-fence it. And then say that the access to these funds are clearly going to be dedicated solely to infrastructure projects, because that's the key. If we can invest in infrastructure and open up this country, the infrastructure in this country, then you will generate the kind of economic activity you need to repay the loans. Of course, if you generate more economic activity, then you create more avenues for taxes, and the tax net is widened and broadened, and we can now generate the economic activity we need to repay the loans. So borrowing is not the issue. I'm not scared of the borrowing. I even think we may even need to look at other avenues of investment. But I think that it is how those funds are used that is the key issue. Of course, the other thing is that we need to look at other sources of revenue. There are so many things that we can do alongside borrowing to generate the kind of revenue we need in this economy. We talk about economic growth rates. There's a raging debate about economic growth rates in this country right now. But the truth is that if we're a developing country and we want to keep pace and lift, say, 100 million people out of poverty over the next 10 years, we need to be achieving growth rates in excess of 10% in order to really, right now we're at 2%, but we need to be achieving growth rates of in excess of 10% in order to lift people out of poverty. And you can't do this without focused planning and deliberate application of loans that you borrow. Yes, it's part of the solution. Because, for instance, you do not have, Nigeria is grossly under-policed. You'll be aware that the issue of recruitment of policemen has become such a big political football that we have issues between the Police Service Commission and the Nigerian Police Force. So we do need serious recruitment. We need to recruit policemen. So that costs money. We need to improve the welfare of the existing policemen, and even improve. And welfare includes salaries and other, just the whole welfare package. You need to improve it. Then you look at the other agencies, whether it be the SSS and the other security agencies. They need to be augmented and enhanced. And in terms of equipment, in terms of, again, welfare and so on. So yes, money is an issue. But again, it comes back to what I was saying earlier. What we Nigerians want to know is, how have you applied these funds? That is the key. If the executive, because nobody is accusing the executive of, at least I am not accusing the executive of, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm saying, come out and tell Nigerians how these funds are being applied. We approve these things here. But in the execution of these things, have you advertised? Who are the contractors? When are the equipment coming? When is the salary going to be augmented? When are the recruitments going to be done? This is the type of information that we need in the public domain to help to manage the situation. Of course, the bottom line is that at the end of the day, security must improve. After we have put all these things in, security must improve. And so far as you have improved all the welfare, you have bought equipment, you have done all these things, and security is not improving, we still have a problem. So at the end of the day, security must improve. But I believe that if you knock off all these points, all these issues, it will lead to an improvement in our security situation. Because you're right, we need to plug some of these loopholes and leakages for funds. But even when you plug those loopholes, if we're serious as a country, it's not enough. The money you can get from plugging these loopholes is not enough for the type of money we need to invest in infrastructure. I took a motion before we ended on Infracore, and the infrastructure deficit in Nigeria. It's not the type of money that it's in trillions of naira. And so this is the type of money that you need to have a deliberate approach to in order to ensure that these monies come in and they are properly applied. It's either through borrowing, it's one of the ways, of course, through liquidation of assets, and so on and so forth. Maybe then we need to get creative to generate the type of money we need to invest in infrastructure in this country. If you take roads, for instance, we don't have roads in Nigeria. There are road problems everywhere. There's no zone or no local. There's no where a federal road. We have 36,000 kilometers of federal road. There's none that is good. Every one of them, you drive for 2 kilometers, you will see a problem. You will see a problem. So if we want to get serious, we need massive investment in infrastructure in this country to start with.